Wormwood in the Bible, that there's a planet headed this way that causes pole shift. He told me to tell as many people as possible by August 17th of 2017 and then go to the Ozarks. He said that is what I need you to do for me. He said it's time to tell people that if they haven't saved their souls and realize that I walked this earth and died for their sins, then this is their last chance to do that. That's what's most important. Second of all, there's going to be a lot of natural disasters. If people do not get ready for them and don't prepare for them, it's not going to be good, and it promises that in the Bible. So, but that is my story. My name is Doug. I'm a carpenter from Indiana. I'm just a regular guy, and this is my story. It happened to me. I hear his voice. Thank you.
What, say a little bit about what a person could probably do.
I'm told to tell people
to
store survival provisions to get ready for natural disasters. Have a food, store as much food and water as they can. Water especially, because that's most important. You need water. To have a bag packed, especially if you live in a city. If you live in a populated area, you're going to want to get out of the area when the time is right, and everybody will know if there's a massive power outage, if Yellowstone goes off, financial collapse, ISIS attack. There's a multitude of things that can happen in today's society of what could happen. But yes, I am told to tell people to be ready, just to get ready for natural disasters and to prepare and just be ready. And it's about all you can do until it's time, and I'm not trying to cause chaos or anything like that, but it just makes common sense in today's society to be ready anyway, to at least have, a day, at least a bag packed with some provisions and some survival supplies to, if you had to, get out of the city, and a plan to get out of the city on foot. A lot of people don't worry about anything, and it says in the Bible not to worry, but it also says always be ready. Always, it says to keep a watchful eye and don't let the master catch you asleep. And I've researched this since this has happened to me, because I run into a lot of people that are deceived by the system. You go to a lot of churches today. I love church, but they all preach don't do anything. And it doesn't say that. It says always be ready, always keep a watchful eye. It says head for the hills, don't look back, and he will provide for the elect. And that's what I always tell people. If you can trust that he's providing you with this information right now, you better believe he is, because I hear his voice and he has me telling people to get ready. I've traveled this country 4,000 miles on a bicycle to tell my story, because he pushed me to leave my job. Obviously that's how he wants it done. I have an old truck and it wouldn't make the journey, and he asked me to leave, made me promise him I'd leave in 2 weeks. After storing as much water and food as I could, he let me go back to work after he first called me for about 9 months and told me to store food rations and survival gear and do as much research as I could and get my things in order. And after 9 months, he pushed me to leave my job, and I put all my stuff in storage in the Ozarks and took off from there, and I've been 4,000 miles on a bicycle to tell this story.
Okay, if it's supposed to, the poles are shifting 30%.
Up to 30 degrees out of
30 degrees.
30 degrees, it could be more, I'm not sure, I'm not a scientist, but that's what I've been told. That's what a lot of these videos talk about. Now the information I have as far as the scientific fact of this is a lot of it goes by videos. Now my side is the spiritual side, as far as I hear his voice, and he gave me time to do this. He told me he needs this to be done for him until August 17th of 2017, and then told me to go to the Ozarks. So as far as all the factual things of what's going to happen and where, I do not know. I'm not privy to that information, or the day or the hour. I'm not predicting the day or the hour. He told me to do this until then, and then go to the Ozarks. I don't know when it happens.
Are you do you think the churches are preparing people spiritually to handle this?
Spiritually, yes. They have their job to do, and I have my job to do, so I expect them to discredit me. First and foremost, I've been to many religious leaders with my story, and they are the first to say you're a false prophet. But they have their job to do. They have to keep things going this way, happy. But the thing is a lot of churches are starting to, I've ran into a few people that say their church has been talking about getting ready for things like this. Even just recently, a week ago, I ran into a guy down by El Paso, and he said, "Yeah, the sermon at our church today was always be ready for the day of the Lord, because you never know when He's going to come." And the Mormons believe in having provisions ready. So some churches, yes, have been talking about this spiritually. First and foremost, yes. I mean, if you've accepted Jesus as your Savior, that is what's most important, and that's them getting people ready spiritually. And they have their job to do. It's to keep the calm, and it's a system that has to work together. They have to do their job. I have to do my job, and hopefully everybody will know. And when the time is right, there's people that are ready. It's just something we have to get ready for and embrace that it's happening. And
do you think this is going to have an effect on the churches where they're going to be trying to use this to get money?
Oh, I don't know. Hopefully not. Hopefully churches are there for the right reason. It's just to help provide support. And this time, I hope that this information here about this planet, hopefully it's not about money, that it's about, hey, it's time for us to get ready. And what I try to do is every time I go to a church, every area that I go to, I try to go to at least one church, and I try to tell them, I try to drop them. I talk to the lead pastor, I tell them my story. And oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that what Father in Heaven, this voice I hear, tells me that what happened to me is he took the seal off my head and opened me to the sky, and Satan had a chance to get me stopped. That's what I was told happened to me. And he doesn't want this message out, and it's less souls for him, and hopefully it's less chaos. I mean, eventually there's gonna be chaos anyway. It's just my job to get some people ready for it. But as far as the money goes, hopefully not. I try to let the churches know to take their money and maybe have a disaster relief fund. Or start storing, have provisions on hand, not really a fund, a disaster fund, because money's not going to mean anything when this happens, and it's going to happen. It could happen at any moment. So I try to let them know my story and let them take it from wherever. I let Him guide them from there.
So what do you think about some of these churches that come out with this, where they're talking about food rations that they want like $1,500 for, it's supposed to last a year? Is that any good or going to help?
You can do it any way you want. You can get food rations anywhere. It's just use your best judgment. I watched Jim Baker. Jim Baker had that on his show where you can order the buckets that got the food in the I mean, so you can buy buckets at Walmart for $45. So that's up to you to decide if you want. Because some of those funds obviously go to help his foundation and the televangelists, and to go to the ministry helping poor people, whatever he's got going on. So that's you and your own judgment. It's not a bad idea though to have a year's worth of food rations. I can guarantee you that right now in these times, this day and age, with things that go on. But yeah, that's to each their own judgment. What I did is I went to Walmart every week, and I would take $20 or $40 a week, and they have food rations they sell there in the camping section, and I would buy their food rations there and different things.
So what about the people that can't escape to safety? What would you suggest they do?
If you can't escape to safety, if you have provisions, just try the best you can. If enough people store water and food, or just pray. The government's it's gonna take time for the government to get there.
Okay, go ahead.
Martial law is gonna happen, and it's gonna take a period of time before the government can come in and set all this up. So. That's what I suggest for people to do, is be patient and pray. Just group together. Don't act ill-mannered. That's what I'm doing this for, is to try to inform people what's going on. That this is a thing that is from Father in Heaven, and He wants us to act a certain way, be good to one another, and we will be provided for. It might be tough. There's going to be hard times. That is the gist of it, is be good to one another. I always use Galatians 6:10 in my pamphlets, or when I talk to people. It says be good to all people, especially to the family of believers. I always do that. So, but that's what I'm hoping for. I talk to a lot of people, say I have plenty of ammunition, and I'll be all right. And the thing is when you're laying there dying of thirst, and you don't have any water to protect or food to protect, there's no point in having ammunition, because all you're going to do with that ammunition when you start dying of thirst is go out and hunt for water and food. it's a scary thing. It's a scary thing for me to do, and even to make videos like this, I don't like doing it so much because I know something could go viral, you know, and cause. But I've been doing this long enough now, a year or 2 months, that people don't listen. They're gonna look at me and think I'm a nut. You know, it's like they don't believe it can happen in today's world that one man out of 7 billion could be that this could happen to. But here's the thing: is you are 1 out of 7 billion. He is 1 out of 7 billion. This guy behind me, behind the camera, is 1 out of 7 billion. I am 1 out of 7 billion people that hears a voice that calls himself Father in Heaven. And he has me telling people to get ready.
With the confessions and victims' bodies found, the community gears up for Gary Allen workers' impending trial, anxious to see justice served.
That was
For the victims' families, it means reliving the torture all over again.
That's what the 1961
Coming up on the Justice Network.
Planet 10, Planet X, World X. The government, they realized what it was. They stopped talking about how the NASA scientists stopped talking.
If you're a man, then you can't
President Reagan
afford
signed
to
it in the
miss
top
this
secret
announcement.
1983. Now, this is all
Because
information that got offline, or it was online. But President Reagan signed it in the top secret in 1983. They've been telling the special forces to retire in the Ozarks for over 30 years. They've been like, wink, wink, paid to retire in the
I think I
Ozarks.
might have heard something like that.
And but that's supposedly that's what happened. The Mayans knew about it, the Chinese knew about it, and the Sumerians knew about it. The Sumerians, the Fertile Crescent, where the Christian religion was originated. That's why it's in the Bible. The Mayans and the Chinese had it predicted down to the day when it would pass closest to us in 2012, and that's what the scientists said in 1961 too, when it was in cover of Popular Science. They said it's 50 years away. Don't worry about it. So. They just stopped talking about it. They shut it up. Reagan signed it into top secret, and they tried to squash it as much as possible. Well, it passed us, and that's what some of the people that were following this knew what that time wave lapse in the Mayan and the Chinese calendars, and that was all the information that they had, was that 2012 date. Well, it passed us, and then it went behind the sun, and now it's on its way back. It has orbit like a comet. It comes from the southern hemisphere.
Is there a name for this?
Well, it's called Wormwood, Planet X, Nibiru.
Okay. Do you think the administration that's in office now knows about this
yeah.
and going to do anything?
Oh yeah.
You know,
I don't know if
have
maybe
been
the
doing
president, because
anything?
I'm told that the president's on a need-to-know basis. I mean, I wouldn't want this weighing on my conscience as a public leader. So I'm even told that he might not know about this. He might not. I don't know. I mean, I'm not there. I am me. But I've heard that sometimes they don't tell him things like this because they don't want that weighing on his conscience. They know about it. The people that need to know about it know about it. You know, just like how the government says you're on a need-to-know basis. If he doesn't need to know at the time, there's no point in telling him, because then it's going to be on his conscience. He is the leader of our country. So what's the point of telling him, hey, you're going to have to deal with all this? And you know, like if Obama has to deal with it, he doesn't really have to announce it or anything, which is probably a good thing for him not to announce it. The world leader like that announcing this would be total chaos. It has to happen through a person like me that is just a nobody, no name.
What about, remember when the plates split and, Africa and Australia and
Yeah, when they used to have what they call is
is it going to be something
Pangea.
like that?
It used to be called Pangea. The one continent before it divided. Right. Pangea.
So is it going to be something like that? Or?
Well, it's going to be plate movement. It's supposed to be a magnitude 20 earthquake. Magnitude 20 earthquake, and all the plates moving, volcanoes going off, meteors. That's what happens. What happens is this thing comes towards Earth, and it locks. Eventually, it either locks onto our gravitational field, or it could happen maybe when it lets go. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, like I said, but it tilts us. It locks on and it tilts us, or when it lets go, it's been pulling on us for over 50 years. It's been pulling on us.
Is it like right now? I noticed that there's a lot of weather change and
that's a lot of. They say it's slowed the Gulf Stream down.
So it's starting to happen already.
Oh yeah. Although we have 8 times more earthquakes since the 1970s. 800% more earthquakes since the 70s. We have 120% more meteorites and fireballs since 2012. As we passed through the tail of this thing, it passed by us. We went through the tail of it after it went by us. So we've got all these meteor showers. More than double the meteorites and fireballs. All the crazy weather, the fronts, the Gulf Stream, the water has slowed down by more than 38%. That's what controls the temperature and the weather patterns.
Is it going to like block the sun?
I'm sure.
Where it's going to be, instead of warm, it's going to be cold?
I don't know. I'm told that there's going to be heat released from this hole from all the energy that's released when this happens, but also there's going to be cloud cover, so it might. I don't know. I haven't done all the algorithms and extrapolations, to figure out what's going to happen when this goes on, but. I don't know for sure. You would think it's going to, with all the events that are going to happen, the volcanoes and tidal waves and meteor showers. So yeah, there's going to be some kind of cloud cover for a while, and it might be a cooling initially. But I'm told that there's going to be heat released from this ultimately. So I don't know. We could be going into another ice age. It could go.
Like
they say that we're due for another ice age, but I'm not.
Right.
I mean, that ended 10,000 years ago, and this thing supposedly comes around every 13,600 years. This happens. Okay, it comes around every 3,600 years, and every 3 revolutions it gets close enough to cause problems.
Right.
And then so it goes. In 3 revolutions there's a flood. In 6 revolutions there's a pole shift, and then 3 revolutions from there's a flood. It happens. It alternates. So, but it will cause the sun to go down at noon time.
Let me ask you this. I notice every year when the seasons change now, for about a couple of weeks or so, cell phones, internet, and all that stuff are really unstable. Is it getting to that point where it's close enough to
That's
affect
a good point. Yeah, of course. Yeah, solar flares are a good possibility when this happens. Solar flares are could be one of the first things to happen when this goes. They've almost had 2 of them in the past 10 years or 15 years that almost knocked out half the world's power because they're so intense. So communications, if your cell phone goes down and there's no communication on your cell phone and it's like a massive EMP worldwide, that would be the time to head for the hills.
Right. You think that's why that most of the banks don't want to accept cash? They only want money transfer, so that when this happens, there won't be any money available?
No, money's going to be worthless. It's going to be water. I mean, gold, and I don't know if gold might have some kind of value for a short time. For a short time, I mean, until people are just laying there dying, and I mean, gold might be worth something while there's still food and water, which I can't imagine it being worth anything for the first few days.
I don't think they use gold for monetary.
I think when this happens, I don't think anybody's gonna be worried about monetary anything or financial stability or having things to trade. It's gonna be either you have food and water or you don't.
Okay, what do you think about there's food being shipped up to these so-called space stations, enough to feed a city?
I don't know about space stations, but these shelters they got built. They got shelters built called DUMBs, Deep Underground Military Bunkers. They're all over YouTube. DUMBS on YouTube. There's 130 of them in the United States, 2 in every state except for I think Rhode Island and Florida. There's maps to them and things like that. But yes, they've got them stocked up. They've been using them under the guise of corporate storage facilities like Walmart, Ford Motor Company. They got this thing called Subtropolis by Kansas City. They've got Denver Airport, and they've got these things already stocked up with food and water and triage equipment, things like that. Hospitals set up in the caverns in Arkansas, in Arkansas, Missouri, Ozarks are already semi-set up. Some of them, I'm told, as like hospitals, and a lot of WalMarts have been shutting down. And I'm told that this information's online, that these Walmarts have shut down and opened up entrances to these underground bunkers and tunnels, and they've set up they put towers in the corner of these Walmarts to look. And if you go inside and look around, if you can imagine a store being empty at the time, it almost looks like it would be like a camp, like a triage center, like a hospital, where they would have like security towers in the corners. You know, almost like a mini concentration camp slash, I mean, I don't like calling it that, or a containment facility, nonetheless. A containment facility for injured people, hurting people. I couldn't say hostile people, because I mean, everybody's going to be so hurting at the time. I mean, there's going to be chaos and hostility, but hopefully it's not in the places where we're gathering.
Is there going to be any, what about disabled people?
Oh yeah, that's what I worry about most. That's the hardest. I actually broke down in tears the other day, handing a card to it. Yeah, there's going to be a lot of people that are disabled at the time for the immediate event. You know, whatever happens during this whole process. But the people that are disabled now, it's going to be bad. I worry. That's why chosen. He asked me to do this. He made me do this all voluntarily. Well, he guides me to do it. He calls himself Father in heaven, and I would feel bad if I didn't, knowing what's going to happen. That, you know, if I could save one soul, or somebody hears my story and they relate to this, something going on, and say, hey, this guy was right. He talked about it being a symptom of this planet coming in. I believe that's worth all the chaos in the world, is to help save a soul. Because there's a lot of people that don't believe. But yeah, disabled people I worry about, elderly, handicapped young people, kids. That's the reason I do this, is because I want to help people.
If the United States have so many missiles and stuff, is there any way that they could, like, what's the movie where they shot a missile off with Bruce Willis?
Oh, yeah, I know what you're talking about. Now, this thing is 5 to 7 times the size of Earth.
It is?
They've done, I'm sure it's NASA, they've known about it since 1960. You know, and they've put a lot of work into this. So if that was a possibility, I'm sure they would have considered it. But that's, I mean, it has to happen. It's biblical prophecy. Even Father in heaven himself says this world needs it. They said there's no way for this world to fix itself. We surpassed. We have to cover our foods with insecticides and pump them full of hormones, and they live in fields that are very unhealthy. If you drive by a feed lot, I mean, you're eating these cattle that are laying in their own feces, and they're very unhealthy. They pump them full of antibiotics and hormones, and we have to do that to feed our world. And then half the world is what I'm told, that this has to happen. The world surpassed its amount of available space for farming per capita for a person on the planet. In 1970, that number was surpassed. That there's not enough land to feed the people adequately, to properly to grow food the way it needs to be grown. And when you drive by orchards and farms, and they've got the food covered in pesticides, the bugs won't even eat it, but yet we're putting this into our bodies. You know, like I drove by in Washington, I was driving by into the apples. They look like frosted Christmas trees, and they're hanging with fruit, but nothing's going to touch them, and the bees are dying off because they're putting on, their variety of food has been narrowed down. They have a very shallow variety of food. You know, they're eating off one plant that's covered in pesticide, and then they wonder why the bees are dying off.
Well, let me ask you this. The United States used to produce food for the world and many products, but we don't produce anything now.
We still produce food, but yeah, as far as products, I mean, as far as the global thing goes and the economy, that just has to happen. That's just equalization around the world. I mean, the country that can produce it cheapest, like America at the time, when America became the superpower for manufacturing, is because we had a cheap labor. That was the bottom line. And just like China, we had cheap labor at the time, and now that it's equaling out, more jobs are going overseas. But as far as global financial situations, I believe that. It's just going to happen.
About the time when,
because if people don't come here and support our way of life by buying American products, then all those jobs and all that money is going to go overseas, and that's just the way it's going to be. Everybody that goes and shops at a store and they're buying Chinese-made good, and that's the lifestyle they're supporting. So I'm a union guy. So when I go to look to buy something, first of all I look at where it's made, what religion they are. I mean, I support my religion. I support Christianity, and I support a way of life. You know, I support, like, if they have insurance, how they live, if they're overworking them. You know, I'm not going to support a country that oppresses their people and feeds them a bowl of rice to work 16 hours a day and doesn't have a religion. They like North Korea. You know, they have them worship their precious leader that they got over there, and that's their religion, is to worship their one prime minister or whatever they have. I don't support that. So that's my opinion.
What do you think about the time when the top wage for manufacturers was $5 an hour, when Ford introduced that, and they were paying not $5 an hour, $5 a day?
Oh yeah, well that was the big thing with Henry Ford. He built his company on that. There was people climbing over each other to get that $5 a day.
$5 a day.
Henry Ford, yeah, he was a smart man. And he's smart enough that Hitler based all his philosophies off Henry Ford. That was Hitler's idol, was Henry Ford.
So what do you think we should?
He almost took over the world.
What philosophy should we have right now, dealing with what you're saying, and with the products that we don't make but we import? And then, do you think that maybe there's going to be something where there's going to be some type of contamination of the food?
Anything can happen at any moment, and like that movie Contagion. I mean, all it would take is that one little bit of energy to manipulate DNA in a virus. I mean, it's that volatile. I mean, you've seen like the Spanish flu. The Spanish flu wiped out almost half the population at the time, 50% of the people. It was a lot of people. At least 1/3 or half. I forget the number. It's 200 million people at the time. It was like half the population. And I just think that's one little virus that had one mutation, one little DNA mutation. So what kind of chemical reaction would that take? I mean, if you see the movie Contagion, or I forget I forget what the word I was looking for. Quarantine.
Quarantine.
I think there's a movie called Quarantine, right? Where something is just that minute of an energy transfer to manipulate DNA into a mutated virus, and that could cause worldwide population reduction.
So with this mutated virus,
anything
is it going to affect old, the young?
I mean, I don't know. About, as far as I don't want to get too far into a mutated virus, but what. This is about this Planet X Nibiru thing, and that's what's going to happen. That's the Father in heaven. He gave me till August 17th.
Well, let me ask you this. Okay, let's say it misses Earth.
It doesn't hit Earth. It causes pole shift.
So from the tail, the dust, and all that stuff that's trailing behind it, all that might just settle to the Earth and just cause a blackout.
That's one of the theories on this, is that they say all the rivers that the rivers will turn red. The waters, the rivers will turn red. It will turn to blood. Well, all this debris is red. It's iron. It's an iron planet. So that's one of the theories on this planet coming in, how it lines up with prophecy. The prophecy, it says all the rivers will turn to blood. Well, this thing has red dust and iron debris around it. So that's one of the theories. Is that,
So what would you suggest a person start reading and looking up?
I'd say just go on YouTube and look up Planet X, and research as much as you can about it and get ready. Get ready for natural disaster, for civil unrest and natural disasters. Well, first and foremost, before any of that, is get right. Get spiritually right. Make sure that you accepted Jesus as your Savior and realize that He walked this earth because this follows biblical prophecy 2:18. And I'm telling you, I hear His voice calls Himself Father in heaven. He says this is their last chance. He says this is the final warning before this happens.
So what's the last thing you want to say? Point that's most valued as far as dealing with this.
The most valued point is, and this is what I always end with, is Galatians 6:10, is be good to all people, especially the family of believers. Be good to all people through all of this. Try to help one another out, and we'll get through this. We're all going to be in a better place anyway, whether we're in this world or the next. We're all going to go to heaven eventually, especially if we accept Jesus as our Savior. He's a merciful God, so I don't know how that's all going to play out as far as rapture and all that. I don't know. I don't prophesy too much about that. I know some things in the Bible have been changed. They changed the Sabbath to Sunday, and it was Saturday originally. So who knows what else has been changed?
Well, I believe the Catholic Church changed it to Sunday, which Sunday is a bell bow, the worship of really the devil.
It was a pagan god. So was Christmas.
Yeah,
it was a pagan
Christmas
god. So was Easter. So was all of our holidays are based off the pagan religion.
Well, what do you think the Catholic Church? How are they reacting to something like this? Are they going to try to capitalize off of it?
They know about it. Now, I don't know if they're not going to capitalize. The money's not going to mean anything to them.
I mean, as far as controlling people
I really don't know. There's the Illuminati. They know about it. All these higher ups in the world, they have their shelters built. And I mean, if that's what their end goal is to gain earthly possessions and power, then so be it. Then I don't want to be here anyway. Hopefully, I go if that's so. I'm looking for a new and better world. Is what I'm hoping, that Jesus comes down here. They set up a new and better world, and then He makes priests and rulers of the people that deserve it, and then it's a world like that, and not the Catholic Church and them gaining power. If that's the case, then hey, sign me up for going. All right, take me out too. Yeah, because I don't believe in that. The Catholic Church does know about it. They do have their own shelters, but they got a telescope over in California called Lucifer. They actually named it Lucifer, a light telescope. Yeah, It's been public knowledge, and they've known about this thing for quite a while. But they can't make an announcement either. They can't talk about it. It's too big of a deal for a well-respected organization to talk about, like the government, a church. They can't talk about it. It's got to be a common man like me to come out with a message. And believe it or not, I'm just a regular guy, and I hear his voice. And if people can't believe that's true, and you call yourself a Christian, then go home and burn your Bible, because it happened to me.
So that's Planet X. Everyone needs to try to look up that and do some research.
Planet X, well, dude, the research is minimal. Basically, this is going to happen. Follow the Bible prophecy. Get ready for civil unrest. They don't really. I mean, research as much as possible. Take into account all possible scenarios. I mean, anything could be an issue. Radiation, chemical. It depends on how far you want to go with it. You know, how far you want to go. But at the very least, you're going to want to store some water and food. You know, it just makes common sense these days.
Well, where would be a good place to store this? If this happened, would it become contaminated?
Everybody already has it. You don't have to rent a storage unit. You don't have to do that. Just everybody has a house or an apartment usually, unless you're completely homeless, and usually they have shelters and food pantries for them.
Right.
But if people did this, people have enough room in their homes. Just stock your pantry. I'm told to tell people for at least a month until they set up martial law.
Let me ask you this: a lot of people think they should store stuff in lead containers so that when that has no effect.
I don't know. I don't think radiation is going to be too big of an issue when this happens. Hold on, let me back that up. It might be, it might not. Okay, so as far as lead containers, that's each their own. However they want to do it. You know, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know too much about it. I put together a bug-out bag myself that I could survive radiation fallout with. Not radiation, not walking through a nuclear meltdown, but radiation fallout. I can survive. Okay. I've got a dust mask. I got a Russian gas mask. You can buy online for $15. I bought potassium iodide, and that's what takes radiation out of your thyroid.
Now what now?
Potassium iodide.
Potassium, is that like lithium or?
No, it's just potassium iodide. It's
thyroid medicine or
it's
something?
Thyroid. It's like iodide. That's like what's in salt.
Yeah.
Potassium iodide. Potassium iodide. It's like the iodine they put in salt. It's what the government uses. It's what takes the radiation out of your thyroid. It's thyroid support. You can order from any vitamin company.
And what is it called?
Potassium iodide. It takes radiation out of your system. But I mean, people that research this and know what all the possibilities are. Can order things like that. Get ready. I bought 3 bottles for $20 from Nature's Pride online. You know, you can go to vitamin shop. There's vitamin shops all over this country that have potassium iodide in liquid and tablet form.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, if you wear a Tyvek suit, a dust mask, then you have potassium iodide, and you don't ingest a lot of radiation. You can keep radiation out of your system and survive it. You might get a little radiation sickness, but you're not going to be laying there with the blisters. And that's one of the prophecies too, is that everybody's going to get a rash of blisters all over the bodies. I believe that's one of the first signs of the,
Like how you see some of these meth people walking around with all the little things on their hands and skin from, scratching. People are going to be walking around looking like that, or they're going to be walking around looking like they got leopards.
All I know is I remember reading it. I've been busy over the past couple of years doing this, so I haven't had time to really dive into all the, I forget what the actual seven bowls were, but I know that's one of the things that it talks about is people having sores, all over their body and things like that, and that would be a sign of radiation sickness.
Okay.
So I don't know.
Any last thing you want to say?
That's it. Just be good to all people.
All right. Well,